Good evening from InvestSharp.com. This is Randy Smotone with your Tuesday, January 11th market update. So I had kind of a wild action in the market today. It was kind of all over the place. It was a little bearish, a little bullish, kind of just back and forth. But at the end of the day, we held up all right. So we had the dollar was mostly flat on the day. Gold, silver, copper, and oil were all up. Light sweet crude futures were up $1.86 to settle at $91.11 a barrel. So looking at the dollar ETF, the UUP, so a little light volume selling here, and it was mostly, like I said, just mostly flat. Didn't move a whole lot today. Over to the West Texas Intermediate Crude Point and Figure chart, still in the same range, bouncing back and forth. Still haven't taken out this prior high up here, and we've been holding around the 88 when we pulled back, so no change there yet either. Let's go take a look at the Russell. So the Russell did have the large percent gain for the second day in a row, and it was up today 0.4%, up about 3 points. So we're still mostly just stuck in this bouncing back and forth, kind of like the whole market here right now between the 780 and the 800 for the Russell. Most of the charts look similar except for the NASDAQ. Of course, the NASDAQ has taken out the January highs right here, so tech has been the strongest so far. And looking at the Dow was the weakest, up 0.3% still, but it was the weakest. And it's actually making these, well, other than here, right? I mean, we're a little bit lower, these lower highs, so we're still kind of flagging out, but also stuck inside this range. And the S&P, same thing, just bouncing back and forth, just waiting for the more earnings possibly and some kind of catalyst to push us higher. Or I guess we could break down and have a further pullback, but that hasn't happened as of yet. Volume was a little bit below average daily volume, except for the Qs. The Qs volume was actually slightly above average. So let's look at the gold ETF, GLD. Not a lot of buying, but we have had a little pop here and up into the resistance where we broke down from the uptrend line. Silver also light, a little bit light on the volume side here, and of course we haven't made it back up to the the uptrend line where we broke down from yet. Copper had a little bit of volume, about average day. It had a nice bounce on the copper ETF, JJC. And the Euro ETF, FXE, up today. Pretty light volume buying so far. Almost same spot here for about 3 days in a row. Haven't moved a whole lot. And the volatility index actually was down 3.71%. So not a whole lot of movement here either. Still pretty low. So we'll take a look at the McClellan oscillator. Looking at the overbought, oversold condition on the NYSE. So, like I said, we're not moving a whole lot. Still pretty neutral. Up in here would be overbought. Down here would be oversold. Take a look at the sectors. So 13 of the 16 sectors we follow finished in the green. The oil service index had the larger percent gain, up 2.53%. The industrial transportation index was the weakest, which is a down 0.4. So a little pressure on some of the industrials. Transports, I'm sure with oil keep going up. It's a little pressure here, but it wasn't too bad. Over to ChartWatch and some old ideas. They're old, but we've watched before, and then some new ones. So this log me in, or what I like to call log main, is it's broke out above the downtrend line today with some little volume, so you might want to keep an eye on that one. Penn National Gaming, talked about this yesterday, had this breakout above the downtrend line, still held up pretty well today. CLR, big breakout on Continental Resources today. Deere, breaking a little bit higher today. Calpine Corp, breaking higher. And this thing's been, lots of volume here on the way up. And if you go out to a 1 year, we've taken out, up here where these prior highs were, we've taken that out. So see if it can hold up here, or if if this is actually going to be some support now or not. A&R breaking higher. Varian Semiconductor, huge breakout, which it's another one that if you go back, actually I have to go back 2 years, I think. Yeah, so we've touched up here, didn't make it all the way up there, and then we consolidated here, and then huge breakout above these prior highs. So we could have some support down here at this level right here where we broke out. So might want to watch for that. And Hess breaking higher today. RRC, Range Resources, lots of volume, moving higher. Now this one's a little, let's see here, there we go. So we come up here and we touched here, and we broke out above that today with volume, but at the same time we're also look like we're in this rising wedge, right, where we've touched, and we hit it today and pulled back a little bit. So watch this, maybe a dip buy, or or if it takes out today's high with volume and goes higher, but should have a little resistance somewhere around this area here from this rising wedge. Tidewater breaking higher, has a previous high up here at 56.09, and today it got to 56.13, but it's got that right here. And Rax, big breakout on Rax today. EOG, talked about this one yesterday, still looks good. Actually took out this previous high right here today after it's been really moving up here. Probably needs a little rest, but not yet. Temple Inland. So Temple Inland's had some resistance around this 23 here, and trying to break out higher today. Did take it out just a hair, but it's been in this channel up, right? So probably looks like it could get up near the 24 mark, or it hits resistance again once it gets over today's high. Let's see what's next. Coal. Walter continues to just go up, and up. And ACI looking good, broke out of this flag here, so broke out above the downtrend line with volume. And BTU's been in a kind of a little different pattern here. So here we had resistance here. In fact, if you take that off, it looks like it's in a kind of this channel up here, bouncing back and forth, but it did have a lot of volume today. Let's get rid of that. So keep an eye on that one as well. Apache still looks good, up against resistance, so the next buy point as it takes out these previous highs up here. Stanley Black & Decker broke out above the downtrend line today, broke out of the flag to the upside. Whoops. I'll get it here in a minute. BCR. Still watching this one. I'd like to see it take out the downtrend line, but it's still holding up okay today. It's got a weekly support line here around this 90. Netflix still looks fine today. Held up fine. Took a little breather from its move yesterday, but still looks fine. FFIV, same thing. Apple, same with Apple. Down a whole 0.24%, no big deal. So it's still holding up fine. TRGL, talked about this one yesterday too. Still this pretty tight consolidation, but it looks like it's about ready to break out higher. And actually had a pretty big move today, right? It's up 3.29%, but it did not take out this high of 1764 yet. But look like it's working towards that goal. Cree. So Cree is, it's touched and it's right up against some resistance here, but it did, if you put a downtrend line here, you could say it broke out above that a little bit today on light volume. And then it's also going to have some touched here, so it's going to have a resistance up to about 72.50, but it's still looking possible, pretty good here for a breakout. If we can break out here, probably get back up to that 72.50 level. SLB still looks good, and of course a lot of the oil service names look good today. Oxy breaking out above the downtrend line today, looks good. And then talked about Tandem yesterday, and Tandem's still looking really good, probably working its way back up to these highs up here. All right, so economic data on deck for tomorrow. We will get the import and export prices at 8:30 a.m. We'll get petroleum status report at 10:30 a.m. Treasury budget and beige book at 2 p.m. Of course, that's all in Eastern time. And no change in the market signals, so Not really, you need to look at them. Nothing changed here. In fact, we haven't moved a whole. The overall market hasn't moved much of any, other than the Nasdaq did take out its high. We haven't moved much in January so far. We're still stuck in a range. All right, that is it for today. Thanks for watching.